Welcome to Furry Facts, where every paw print has meaning and every whisker hides a whisper from something greater. Today, we explore a mystery that reaches far beyond the physical. Not just fur or feeding routines. Not just purrs in playtime, but something deeper, softer, sacred. Why did God send you a cat? Was it a coincidence? A rescue that felt random? A stray that found your door and never left? Or was it a message? A silent divine appointment delivered in the form of a feline. Today, we'll unveil the spiritual significance of cats, their ancient role in healing, their unseen sensitivity to energy, and the reasons why you, specifically, may have been gifted the presence of one. God doesn't always send answers in the form of burning bushes or thunderclaps. Sometimes it's in the form of soft paws and golden eyes. Maybe you didn't plan on a cat, but they came anyway, and somehow you couldn't say no. Why? Because you were ready, not for a pet, but for a teacher, one who doesn't speak your language, but speaks to your soul. They came when you were lonely, when you were healing, when you needed quiet companionship but didn't know how to ask for it. And God knew. Cats are often misunderstood, cold, independent, aloof, but what if that stillness is sacred? Cats don't need you to perform, they don't crave your approval, they sit in silence and invite you to meet yourself there. Have you noticed, when you're grieving, they're near. When you're anxious, they blink slow and steady. When you're lost in your mind, they guide you back to your body. Cats mirror energy. They respond not to words, but to truth. They see who you are, not what you show, and love you there. That is divine reflection. In Egypt, cats were sacred, guardians of the underworld, protectors of homes and souls. In Norse mythology, Freyja, goddess of love and war, rode in a chariot pulled by cats. In Japanese folklore, the Mankiniko, the beckoning cat, was a bringer of luck and protection. And even today, many believe cats guard the threshold between worlds. They see what we don't, feel what we ignore. They sit in the corners where energy stagnates, sleep in the places where pain lingers, walk silently through shadows we pretend don't exist. Cats are more than pets. They're spiritual sentinels. Your cat may never fetch, may never obey, but their power is quiet. Have you ever noticed how they lie on your chest when you're sad? How do they purr near your heart when it's breaking? That sound, the purr, vibrates at a frequency known to heal bone, muscle, and mood. It's not random, it's medicine. Studies show that a cat's purr can reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and accelerate healing. But deeper than that, it's comfort, a lullaby written in the language of God, played through fur and vibration. You didn't adopt healing, it chose you. The world screams, but cats whisper. When you come home, overwhelmed, overstimulated, overrun by noise, your cat doesn't add to the chaos. They invite you to slow, to sit, to breathe. They don't care what you achieved. They don't ask who disappointed you. They just are, present, still. In a world obsessed with productivity, your cat reminds you of peace. And maybe that reminder was the reason they were sent. God knew you didn't need another voice. You needed stillness wrapped in softness. Sometimes you don't go looking for them. They just show up on your porch, at your door, in your path, and they stay. People say cats choose their humans. But what if it's deeper? What if their arrival is orchestrated, a divine pairing timed perfectly for a season of your soul? They appear when you're transitioning, when you're searching, when the old life no longer fits and the new hasn't begun. They hold space. They keep watch, not as pets, as guides, silent witnesses to your rebirth, boundaries, patience, presence. Cats teach you these not with lectures but with behavior. They don't people please, they don't ignore their needs. They rest unapologetically, they love from choice, not obligation. And maybe that's exactly what you needed to see. Maybe your cat came to model what no one else would show you, that it's okay to say no. That stillness is sacred. That solitude isn't loneliness, it's healing. What if your cat isn't difficult? What if they're your spiritual mentor in a fur coat? You smile through it, push through it, pretend it's fine, and then one day, A cat curls up beside you, uninvited, unapologetic, and suddenly, you're not alone, no expectations, no demands. That's not just affection, that's divine compassion showing up in whiskers and warmth you didn't ask, but God heard and answered through fur. Cats are energy sensitive. They know when tension walks in before words are spoken. They feel arguments hours after they end. They linger in spaces where grief lives even when the tears have dried. Have you noticed how your cat disappears when certain people arrive? Or how they follow you room to room when you're heart heavy? That's not random. Cats are energy interpreters. They shift the unseen, clean the emotional air. Sleep where sadness hides. You may not always believe in energy, but your cat does, and they work in it silently, faithfully, every day. You can fake it for people, but you can't fake it for your cat. They don't care about your titles, your clothes, your mood mask. They know when your breath shortens, when your anxiety rises, when you're hiding pain behind routine. And still, they come. They sit beside you not for the image you project, but for the soul you carry. That's why cats are divine companions, because they don't love you for who you try to be. They love who you already are and remind you that's enough. Some cats arrive when someone else leaves, a breakup, a death, a life collapse. And in the silence that follows, they remain. They curl up in your ache, watch you unravel, stay by your side when the world doesn't know what to say. They don't offer advice. They don't try to fix it. They just sit, witness, hold space the way sacred beings do. And in that stillness, healing begins. Maybe that wasn't a coincidence. Maybe that was grace delivered with a tale. Cats don't live forever, and when they go, it breaks something ancient inside you. They were your anchor, your quiet therapist, your roommate in every storm, but even in their leaving, there's something divine. Often, a cat stays just long enough to guide you through a chapter, a season, a healing, and when their soul feels you're ready, they rest. Their love doesn't vanish. It just changes form. Sometimes they were only meant to walk you across one bridge, but they did it flawlessly. In a world of noise, cats are silence. In a world of hurry, cats are a presence. They stretch, breathe, bask in sunlight. They nap unapologetically. They follow their instincts and never seek permission to rest. And maybe, just maybe, that's what God wanted you to see, that it's okay to slow down, to want quiet, to take up space and not feel guilty. Cats live like the world won't fall apart without them. And maybe that's a spiritual lesson in disguise. You matter, but you don't have to exhaust yourself to prove it. Some people don't get it. They don't understand how a cat can be your best friend, your emotional support, your tiny therapist rolled into a ball of fur. But deep down, you know better, because you were chosen by a soul wrapped in fur with eyes that see beyond. A creature that taught you to trust your gut, to protect your peace, to rest without shame, to be exactly who you are and still be worthy of love. That's not just affection. That's a divine assignment. That's a spiritual bond. And not everyone needs to understand it. It was meant for you. So why did God send you a cat? Because you needed stillness and didn't know how to find it. Because you needed connection, but feared being seen. Because you needed healing, but couldn't name what hurt. Because you prayed for peace, maybe not with words, but with aching nights and tired breath. And the answer didn't come in thunder. It came in purrs, in slow blinks, in silent companionship. God sent you a cat not just for love, but for transformation, for grounding, for laughter, for the gentle kind of grace that doesn't demand change. Just presence. If this resonated with your soul, you're not alone. Here at Furry Facts, we believe animals are more than pets, they're messengers. Every purr, every paw print, every moment of quiet presence is a gift. If you felt that sacred bond with your cat, give this video a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe. Because behind every whisker is a reason, and behind every cat is a calling. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Furry Facts, where we listen to what animals are really saying.